This floor is the Dragon Demon's laboratory, ruled by a high-ranking demon with monstrous power matching the legendary 10 corpses. The layout is a massive grid of magically sealed rooms used for horrific experiments. These range from forced combat to breeding, incubation, and genetic modification. In Vikir's past life, countless challengers entered this laboratory. Since nobody made it out alive, it was feared as one of the worst death traps in the entire Abyss Tree. Now, Vikir is stuck in this exact same nightmare alongside Sinclair. He begins to check his surroundings, trying to figure out the sinister purpose behind this laboratory. A system notification alerts them with a new mission to escape the Dragon Demon's laboratory. Breaking the silence, Sinclair admits she never imagined they would end up locked in a place like this. To ease the tension, she playfully calls Vikir her older brother. When Vikir questions her sudden familiar tone, she boldly replies that she will call him whatever she wants from now on, even if it makes him uncomfortable. She explains that since her feelings were already rejected, she has no reason to hide how she feels about him anymore. In fact, ever since Vikir rejected her confession, Sinclair felt incredibly liberated. She is no longer bound by expectations or the fear of disappointment, making her free to do whatever she wants. She playfully adds that even if he rejected her, staying in love with him is purely her own business. Vikir accepts her reasoning and notes that he cannot control what her heart feels. Observing her worn-down state, he realizes she must have been through absolute hell to get here. He asks her how she managed to reach the 9th floor and what happened on the previous levels. Even though Vikir tells her not to force herself if the memories are too painful, Sinclair mutters that she wasn't the one who was supposed to survive. She sadly insists that the people who truly deserve to make it out alive were not her. Filled with despair, she calls herself garbage who doesn't deserve to be alive. She explains that after being dragged into the Abyss Tree, she isolated herself from the other students, refusing to team up or accept any help. Trapped in a cruel survival game, she believed that nobody could be trusted and that she had to survive on her own. After surviving the nightmare of the lower floors, she eventually reached underground floor 5, the magic train. There, she found herself in a single train car with 20 other desperate survivors from the academy. Whether by destiny or coincidence, that train was where she reunited with Tudor, Sancho, Piggy, and Bianca. They welcomed her with such warmth that she instantly regretted keeping her distance. Right as they reunited, a brutal teamwork mission started. It forced the 5 of them to link up under a fatal condition. If one member died, the entire squad would be wiped out. An absolute bloodbath erupted in the train cars the second the mission started, as everyone turned on each other. Panicked by the chaos, Sinclair prepared to unleash her magic to slaughter their competitors. But just as she was about to strike, her friends stopped her. They firmly insisted that they shouldn't resort to murder just to survive. Instead of joining the slaughter, their group focused entirely on defense. They protected each other until every other team was eliminated and they cleared the trial. Before they could catch their breath, the tower threw them another cruel test. A mysterious red portal appeared right in front of the exhausted group. This triggered a hidden mission designed to tear their newfound bond apart. They had to vote for one MVP to escape the floor. The remaining 4 would be banished through the portal into a colony of deadly S-rank monsters. After risking their lives for one another, they were forced to decide who got a pass to safety and who would be sent to a literal hell. Breaking the tense silence, Tudor stepped forward and asked if they all knew what they had to do. He argued that the right choice was to let whoever had the best chance of survival escape. Sinclair frantically stammered that she didn't want to fight her own friends. Tudor gently cut her off, explaining that since she was the most talented, she deserved to be the one to survive. Sancho agreed, telling her to escape, sharpen her skills, and completely destroy the demons to avenge them. Piggy smiled and told her she had to live on for their sake too. Bianca hugged her tightly, playfully complaining about how cold Sinclair had been lately. She told Sinclair to reflect on that attitude later, reminding her that very few people are lucky enough to have friends as great as them. Overwhelmed by their sacrifice, a devastated Sinclair dropped to her knees and asked why they would do this for her. Tudor simply responded that making this kind of sacrifice is exactly what a real hero does. They all smiled warmly and reminded her that she was their most precious friend. Finishing her story, Sinclair breaks down in tears. She laments that while her friends trusted her, she was too closed off to trust them back. She sobs to Vikir that she is a coward who didn't deserve to survive, and that her noble friends should have escaped instead. Vikir crouches down next to her, firmly stating that nobody can blame her and she should never feel guilty for surviving. Hearing his comforting words, Sinclair tearfully thanks him for finally lifting that heavy burden off her chest. Due to the immense weight of her memories, Sinclair's eyelids grow heavy. She collapses unconscious into Vikir's arms, burning with a high fever from extreme exhaustion. Holding her, Vikir respects how she and her classmates managed to keep their pure friendship, sacrifice, and conviction in a hellhole like the Abyss Tree. Their quiet moment is interrupted when Decarabia notices water droplets dripping from above, right before a sudden downpour starts inside the sealed chamber. Before Vikir can process why it is raining indoors, a notification flashes right in front of his eyes. The screen reveals a shocking update. They are currently in the human breeding room, and the environment is actively preparing a mating setup with a strict 10-hour countdown. Vikir is left speechless as he stares at the screen, realizing they are locked inside a literal breeding chamber.